GURPS Powers Enhanced Senses is one of my favorite GURPS books, and I believe that it's an underappreciated volume that many people forget about. So in this video I would like to give you a short overview of what's in it and why I like it so much. A typical character usually is a human or something close to a human. He can see, hear, smell, taste and feel. This is all familiar to us, we experience it in the real world, and we understand how these senses work in the game. What if you want to remove a sense? Blind sword masters or martial artists are commonplace in fiction. If you are using only the basic set, then you will probably just take the blindness disadvantage and a high level of the blind fighting skill. But how does your character function outside of combat? The basic set does have many sensory advantages that may replace sight, such as detect, vibration sense, and various forms of scanning sense. But sometimes the rules are unclear, not granular enough, or simply non-existent in some cases. And all these advantages work in different ways. GURPS Powers Enhanced Senses has an entire chapter devoted to explaining and structuring all possible senses, and providing guidelines for modifying them and moving the sense between the categories. How to turn a short-range sense into a long-ranged one, how to make a non-directional sense a directional one, how to turn an active sense into a passive one, and so on. Even if your character has all his normal senses, you might want to enhance some of them, or add new ones, and that might significantly affect how he interacts with the world. After all, you usually do not interact with something you cannot perceive, and extrasensory abilities will expand your possibilities. This is also very important for the GM. Enemies that lack certain senses or use unusual new senses provide very interesting challenges for the players. Have you ever seen Predator or Tremors? Both of these movies lean heavily onto exotic senses, be they thermal or seismic. The first chapter has generalized modifiers for all the sensory advantages, new modifiers, and new variants of existing advantages: near-infrared vision, thermal infrared vision, megahertz sonar, and active electroreception. There are also two new variants of the bad sight advantage: low resolution and no fovea. They did appear in other books before, but it's nice to see them reprinted here. An entire page is devoted to various skill bonuses granted by exotic senses. After all, if you have X-ray vision, why won't you have a bonus to diagnosis? This is very cool. The rest of the book consists of dozens upon dozens of pre-made sensory abilities. The author made sure to cover everything, from biological senses that you can encounter in the real world, such as various electric field senses of fish, to high-tech implants and fantastical superhuman senses. Many of these pre-made abilities feature rules that have not been explained properly in the basic set, so I actually suggest giving them all a read. When I am building creatures for my games, I often find myself simply copying some of these abilities without any changes. For example, the hunting sonar for bats or dolphins. I do not have to build it from scratch every time. I am content with the pre-made abilities. Or seismic sense ability that I use to represent the D&D tremor sense. It is based on subsonic hearing, not on vibration sense, which might be surprising to you. Or it was to me at least. And now you actually have rules for what subsonic hearing even does. I should know that the illumination levels table on page 13 is actually outdated. This is one of the things I do not like about GURPS. There are like 5 or 6 different illumination levels tables spread out across the books. As far as I know, the most recent one is in GURPS Template Toolkit 2 Races. And that is it. I know that I didn't say much of substance here, but I just wanted to show this book a bit of appreciation. I think that everyone will find something useful in this book, so I highly recommend you give it a read. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.